Friends, in this video we are discussing about Hindu divorce. As per section 13 of Hindu Marriage Act, divorce is defined and its procedure are stated. But even before that, in section 11, it is stated in section 11 that in section 5 of Hindu Marriage Act, clause 1, 4 and 5 says about making a marriage void due to certain conditions. Clause 1 of section 5 is stating about the position when one of the spouse is having an earlier marriage and a spouse of that marriage living. In such situation, second marriage will be void. That is clause 1 of section 5. Clause 4 of section 5 is about prohibitory degree of relationship. Marriage between prohibitory degree of relationship persons. In clause 4 of section 5 itself, it is stated that when there is a custom, when there is a local practice of marrying such persons, then if it is proved before a court, such marriages can be made normal marriage, or the void nature may be avoided. And in clause 5 of section 5 says when there is a subinity relationship between parties, that is, the party of the marriage dies, the other is to do pinda ceremony, that is rituals after death. Such persons who used to do the pinda ceremony, they are called as sapindis. And marriage between sapindis is prohibited under clause 5 of section 5. But that also is subject to the provision that if there is a local custom or local usage, if that is local custom and usage is proved before a court, such marriages can be normalized. And section 12 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 says about voidable marriages. Voidable marriages are marriages which can be made void when one of the party approaches the court and court declares that due to the reasons stated below, the marriage is made void, then it will not be a marriage. And the reason for making a marriage void or a voidable marriage becoming void are: one, that is 12 small a, it is if parties of the marriage after marriage is not having any physical sexual relationship between them, then the party who is aggrieved by the denial of physical relationship can approach a court of law, a family court nowadays in Kerala, and get a declaration that the marriage is void. And 12b is about the incapacity of one of the parties due to mental unsoundness, mental illness. If a person is incapable of giving consent for a marriage due to mental illness, that itself is a reason for making the marriage void. Or if at all he can give consent but he cannot procreate children, then that also is a reason for making the marriage void. 12c is about child marriages done before the 1955 Hindu Marriage Act or after. If the girl of minority is married away, she can deny her consent when she completes 18 years. Or in the case of a consent being obtained fraudulently for such a child marriage, then also pointing out that reason, the marriage can be made void in as per section 12 clause C. And section 12 clause D is about getting impregnated from another person who is not party to the marriage. That is impregnated by a third party, then that may be pointed out and an application can be moved before the family court to declare that marriage a void marriage. And besides, as I have already told you, that section 13 is the main section which deals with Hindu divorce. First condition for approaching a court for getting a divorce is section 13.1. Section 13.1 says that if the partner of the marriage is having a voluntary sexual intercourse with another person, that is, one who is not a party of the marriage, a third party, then that may be pointed out as a reason for dissolving the marriage by a decree of divorce. And 1A says, if one of the parties to the marriage treats the other with cruelty, that cruelty may be physical cruelty or mental cruelty, that cruel treatment can be cited as a reason for divorce. And 1B says that one of the party deserts the other, that is, going away without stating any reason, without any reasonable excuse, going away from the, withdrawing from the company of the other continuously for 2 years, that is the reason for divorce. And the 13.2, subsection 2 of section 13 is changing one's religion from Hindu religion, one due to a religious transformation or due to joining another religion. If a person becomes a non-Hindu, he is embracing another religion or she is embracing another religion, that is a reason for Hindu divorce. And the next one, 13.3, says that if one of the parties to the marriage is mentally unsound, and nobody with reasoning can say that the other person should live with that unsound mind person. So in such eventuality, the court can grant a divorce. And clause 3A gives much more detail about the mental unsoundness or mental illness due to which a divorce can be granted. There it is explained that if the mental unsoundness is, if it is a non-development of the mind, or it can be called as psychopathic disorder, or some other disorder like schizophrenia, they are all reasons sufficient to grant a divorce. In 13.3b, psychopathic disorder is explained. What is a psychopathic disorder? That is, a mind is not fully developed, or even if the person is not violent, or if there is violence in his or her behavior, such mental disorders are reasons for granting a divorce, even if it is a disorder which demands treatment and the person is undergoing treatment. Even if that person is undergoing treatment, it is a reason for divorce. And the fifth subclause in section 13 is that if the person, one of the partners of the marriage, is having some sexual diseases, or which can be due to contact, direct effect on the other person, even if it is not transcendable, even then, if there is any sexual disorder or sexual disease, that is a reason for a divorce. And the sixth subclause says that if one of the partners of the marriage joins a ascetic order and declares that he is not interested in worldly life, that is a reason for granting a divorce against such a person. And another is the seventh subclause, which says that if a party to the marriage is not heard about by close relatives or friends who will naturally know about him or her, if a party is not heard about at all, no news, nothing, no information about such a person, whether he or she is alive or not, in such contingency also divorce can be granted against that person. And 13.1a says that even after marriage, if a person is not having interest or is not contacting the other party in favor of a sexual intercourse, such disability or such attitude itself may be a reason for declaring divorce against such a person. And another 13.1a2 is after a decree of restitution of conjugal rights is given by a court of law against a party of the marriage, even after such a decree, if he or she is not resuming cohabitation or the relationship, even after the decree of restitution for a period of 1 year, that is a reason for granting a divorce. And the subclause 2 of 1a is that after the marriage, the wife or husband comes to know that the other person's spouse in an earlier marriage is living. That itself is a reason for getting divorce from a court of law. And another reason stated therein is that after the marriage, if the husband is becoming accused and convicted for rape or same-sex relationship or bestiality, if he is found guilty for such offences, that is a reason for granting divorce. When the wife and husband are living apart and the wife obtains a decree or an order for getting maintenance and the husband is not giving maintenance for 1 year, they are also living apart without any physical relationship, that itself is a reason for granting a divorce. And if the wife was married, in the marriage, if the wife was a minor when the marriage was transacted and her guardian's consent for the marriage was fraudulently taken by the other party, that's a reason for a divorce. Next important provision is 13a. Court can grant a divorce in a divorce case or even a judicial separation. Court can order that the party should separate it for such and such period. That is called judicial separation. And 13b is about a joint petition of divorce between two parties. Joint petition for divorce can be applied for after 1 year of the marriage only, and within the 6 months after filing a divorce petition, divorce may not be granted. That is the provisions in 13b. But when the court is convinced that there are compelling reasons, court can excuse this 6 months period and the court can grant a divorce even before 6 months. Section 14 again prohibits any divorce petition within 1 year of the marriage, and section 15 deals with the remarriage of a divorced person. In short, if the divorce is granted by a court and the appeal period for filing an appeal against such a decree is also over, then the other party can contract or enter into another marriage. That is section 15. These are the main provisions about the divorce of Hindu marriage.